Greetings and welcome to Chant a Psalm a day. Give thanks for this day, for this is the day that righteousness has made, and we gonna go, we gonna do right. We gonna live right. We gonna be right. We gonna seek for right. Like I said, we gonna seek it, and we gonna keep on seeking it. So we give thanks today for this psalm. The psalm today, powerful psalm today, Psalm 110. Bless that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of the Most High. That is righteous, that is compassion, that's mercy, that's kindness, that's goodness, that's all the attributes of love that we can imagine in ourselves. So the psalm today is titled, Sit at I righteousness. Sit at I righteousness. Sit at the righteousness. Okay? Now, in translation, the title is Sit at my right hand. And I look at it as you could be left-handed. You don't have to be right-handed alone. Children were beaten because they were writing with their left hand, and they was basing that off of what I'm reading right here now. So sit at I righteousness. That is what we are looking at in the translation of the psalm today. Sit at I righteousness. Okay, here we go. Give thanks. Give thanks for the psalm today. Psalm 110. So this is our psalm today, Psalm 110. And the title, as I said, Sit at I righteousness. So I want you to come sit at the righteousness of the Most High, of that is compassion, mercy. We all want to sit next to compassion. We want to sit next to goodness. We want to sit next to mercy. We want to sit next to love and kindness. We want to sit next to happiness and a sacred tranquility. That's where we want to sit. Because then when we sit next to all of that, it's less likely that we will have illnesses in our bodies because, or our vessels, our goodies. As I said before, we are not bodies, we are alive, and we are moving, and we are here, breathing and alive, and we have the ability to love again, and to be again, and to give again, and to show all the wonderful attributes that is of goodness and righteousness and mercy, and not violence, and not anger, and not hate. Okay? So we're sitting at righteousness. That's where we're sitting. Because the world is wrong. The world is about hate, discriminate, homophobia, racism, oppression, slavery. We have all of this going on. People are suffering. And In all of that knowledge of what's going on, you turn on the news and that's what you see. You have to look at where you are going to sit. What side are you going to be on? And where you're going to go. And what is your purpose? What is it that you have been sent? Because you have been sent by righteousness, goodness, mercy, and love. So what is that? How is that going to be expressed? How are you going to express that? How are you going to give that to someone else? How are you going to take your happy and share it with someone's happy? Okay? Because looking at someone to make you happy is not really going to produce longevity. Like, it's not going to produce something that is going to be sustaining, because you're always looking at that person to be the one to fulfill something that's missing. And what's missing needs to be fulfilled by the person. A good example is in a relationship, you meet someone and they may be riding their bike to work. They're not happy, right? They got to ride their bike to work, or maybe they are. You know, they find things to do to, fill that happy place. So, but this is where you met them, and you end up giving them a hand, showing them, instead of giving them the information to survive, you just basically give them a trap where they have to pay all this money for something that they didn't have. That is a car to get to work. Okay? So we cannot fill people's voids like that. They have to, that time, what, and I shouldn't say what should have happened, but it is important to look at building yourself up before you come together with someone else, and that someone else building you up, or helping you to build yourself up, takes away from their own self, and it takes away from what they're building. So they put aside their selves for the other person. And then when the other person stops, they're like, what happened? The gravy train stopped. Why? Because the person may not be feeling valued anymore. They feel like their value is in the things they can give, and not in the, their own selves. And when that's gone, and when the self is gone, there's just an empty shell of a relationship, and it becomes over. It's over. That's what happens. So learning and moving forward, we see, what I do myself, that getting in a relationship with someone is not just to build that person up, but to build each other. And in coming together, when one person is building the other person up and not reciprocating it, there's not reciprocity happening, right? The relationship gets devalued. It gets devalued. and there is no more. So people, are people, and we live in that space where we are going to learn the hard way. And in learning the hard way, we see the reality of our actions and where we went wrong and how we went wrong, so we can improve ourselves for the next, experience. Because these are experiences, okay? Even though it was, I was in a relationship for 6 years. I think it was just maybe 2 years of being together, and then it was over. So the only reason that it stayed on for 6 years is because we didn't know how to let go. I let go first, and then the person couldn't let go, and now they have let gone, and I couldn't, and now we've both let go, and it's beautiful because I wish them the best and the brightest of all that goodness and mercy and compassion can give them. So they know that they've left the relationship behind, and I am no longer there in their life in that way. I just got my Bible verse of the day, and it's from Proverbs 14:34, and it just popped up. So it's like it popped up to tell me, stay on track. You're drifting. You're drifting off into self-reflection about your own self as it relates to the psalm. So the righteousness that's being talked about in the psalm is what came up on my Bible verse, that righteousness exalts a nation, and sin does something the opposite. It disapproves of the people. So we have in the verse of the day righteousness, as we have in the psalm today. You're sitting at the hand of righteousness, and that hand could be left, it could be a right hand or left hand. So in Psalm 110, in verse 1, righteousness speaks to righteousness. Righteousness speaks to righteousness. So all that are righteous will listen, will hear the word of righteousness. So what is righteousness speaking? Righteousness speaks, sit at I righteousness until righteousness makes the enemies of righteousness a footstool. Okay? Because those who hate and discriminate and does not love righteousness, does not love mercy and compassion, is going to be the footstool for those that do have mercy and compassion. Okay? Check it out. So when we talk about footstool, we talk about a seat, a stool for your foot, basically. Footstool, right? It's something low. to support the feet. So the feet are at the bottom of, this is your crown, right? Your feet are at the bottom. It's low to the flow. It's low to the flow. So when David is talking about footstool, the enemies are going to be that. They're going to be low to the flow. And you're going to be walking, around on, above them. So the righteousness that is where you sit, that's where you sit. You don't go put yourself into wrongness and try to do that stuff. You don't. You sit at righteousness where it's tranquil, where it's kind and compassionate and loving and beautiful. So that's where you sit. Because that is what is going to overcome the enemy. Remember, we talked about the enemy is you. You are your worst enemy. Okay? You are your worst enemy. You tell yourselves negative things about yourself. So that's why you're your worst enemy. And that's going to stop. That's going to be low to the flow, and all that negativity and all that hate and all that discriminating and hating yourself is going to be down to the flow. Low, low, low. Because that's where the enemy is going to go. Okay? Verse 2. Righteousness sends forth from a righteousness, from a righteous place, from goodness. That's called Zion. Okay? There's so many names for the places of tranquility. Zion is one of the names. Heaven is another, so righteousness is sending forth from that place, from that good place. And that righteousness is a mighty scepter. 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 So it's a staff. It's used by kings. And this is evidential in the scepter that is held by His Majesty, Haile Selassie I, holds this scepter. So this is where righteousness is coming forward from. Okay? It's coming forward from this place, from a place of goodness, mercy, love, compassion. And it's a mighty scepter. So the next words are rule. Rule. You know how a king rules? Well, that righteousness is ruling in the midst of the enemies of righteousness. Righteousness is gonna be there. It's in the midst. Like I mentioned already in previous Psalms, righteousness is like the air blowing on the water. Okay, I'm going to take you all out to the bay today so you can see this midst that I'm talking about. So this midst, the people in verse 3, the people of righteousness, okay, this is what the people of righteousness is going to be doing. They're going to offer themselves freely. They don't have to be bought. They don't have to be, sold. They're going to be free to offer themselves. And as we look at July 3rd today, it is the day when the enslaved Africans took their right to be free into their own hands and into their own destiny, and rose against the enemy that is hate and enslavement and discrimination and bondage and oppression. and despair. So the people are going to be offering themselves freely. They don't have to be bought. They don't have to have $100,000 salary. They don't have to take money under the table and bribes and all this to pay their credit card bills or their gambling habits. So the people are going to offer themselves. And who are these are the right people of righteousness, offer themselves freely, right? On the day of righteousness is power, and they're going to be dressed in sacred garments. Sacred garments mean they're covered. You don't see their body, you don't see their breasts, you don't see their ass, you don't see their private part. You don't see that because it's a sacred garment they are putting on. They're covered up in a sacred garment. This is describing the people of righteousness. I cannot judge who is what and what is what with what. But I know people are walking around naked. They're walking around naked and showing their body parts. So there was a little child that told her grandmother she doesn't like how the people during the festival and the carnival dress. And her grandmother said, why? What do you say? She said, because they're dressing inappropriately. This is a little 8-year-old or 7 or whatever old. They don't have clothes on, she said. So we see in the time of Noah, when this was happening, that they're reveling and they're having, sex out in the streets, and they're, gyrating on each other, basically having sex with their clothes on, with music playing anyway. So verse 3 is powerful. It packs a punch. And when you throw a stone out in a crowd, it's a hit dog is gonna bark. So when I throw verse 3 out there, I'm gonna see what coming at me. I'm gonna get some folks barking because people wanna wear half naked clothes. Okay. So in verse 3, it keeps on with, it's so beautifully said. I could not have written these words myself. From the womb of the rise, the dew of righteousness's youth will be yours. Drop the mic. This is powerful right here. Okay? This is powerful. From the womb of the rise, like the rise is happening. I'm about to go at the bay. Whoever ain't in the Jeep ready to go, we're gone. So from the womb of the rise, the dew of I youth, or the righteousness is youth. When you're seeking for righteousness, you're on the right, you're eating right, you're speaking good words about yourself and empowering yourself. You are walking good, you are in your, Isla garments. The garments are good and sacred garments. You're gonna be youth. Your youth will be yours. This is the fountain of youth right here in verse 3. This is the fountain of youth right there. So in verse 4, righteousness has revealed or has made a promise or a vow. Righteousness has made a vow. That's why I am married to righteousness, because people that I married have lied. They have, it's just not right. They have done wrong. and I'm not a victim, and I don't victimize myself and have a pity party with anything that was done to me. It was a lesson. Okay, it's a lesson. So when we talk about righteousness has made a vow, okay, that's who I am married to, righteousness. Because when I married a man, what, 30 something years ago, he was already married, and I didn't know until 30 something years ago. 30 something years later, rather. So that's why now I am married to righteousness, goodness, mercy, love, and kindness. That's who is by my side. That's who is on my right, my left, the front, the back. That's around me. Okay? So the vow that was made, that righteousness has made, will not change. That righteousness is going to stay. I'm going to change. I'm going to grow into my righteousness. Every day we're growing as a plant, growing. So every day I am seeking for that. However, what that is not going to change. It's there. It's righteousness, it's mercy, it's love. It didn't change. It's made a vow that is going to be there for you. That mercy is going to be there for you. That compassion is going to be there for you. That love is going to be there for you. Even though when people are not, that is always there. Where is it? It's inside you. And it's out in the midst. I'm going to show you at the bay. That's where it is. So that is what we have to seek for. Nobody on the outside can fulfill our happiness. They can get us cars. They can get us cars. They can get us cars. They can get us houses. They can get us whatever. But they cannot fulfill the happiness. You have to already be happy. You have to already be in a place that you are sure of yourself, that you are aware of yourself, and that you know what makes you happy, and that nobody completes it. No one completes your happiness. It's complete already. What someone does is they add to it. Are they going to add to your happiness, or are they going to take away your happiness and make you cry? What is it going to be? Either you're coming to add to the happiness, or you're coming to take it away. And when you take it away, you do stuff. You do stuff that takes it away by devaluing the person who has given to you, you know? So always remember, how you treat people is how you're going to get treated. When you devalue a person that's valuing you, giving you, somebody going to come around, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to do it to you, because what goes around has to come right back. I know from experience. Okay? So righteousness, this psalm is for righteous people. It's for people who want to do good, who want to find the goodness within themselves and not seek for it on the outside. This psalm is for you to not give up, to sit at the righteousness and wait there. Okay? While you're waiting, what you're going to do? Okay? While you're waiting, you can crochet a hat. Look at this hat that I'm crocheting. You can make this while you're waiting. While you're waiting, you can go read a story aloud to some children and do art with them. Or do a painting. I have all these paintings you can purchase. All of them you can purchase. Okay, all of them. I know I'm deviating from the psalm, but I want you to see what you do while you're waiting, sitting at the hand, sitting at righteousness. This is what I do sitting at righteousness. This one can be any way. Go to my website and you can purchase these. This is the Black Mermaid. Beautiful paintings. And these are for special people who appreciate art. So in we're on verse 4. Verse 4 is talking about righteousness is not going to change. Righteousness is righteousness. And righteousness is a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. That's what righteousness is. It's a priest that is for all time. And it's in the order. There's an order. That's why I clean my space. I like order because I am part of that. We are all part of that order. We are all part of that order. Get the Black Mermaid paintings. Verse 5. Righteousness is at righteousness. Righteousness is at righteousness. It's at the hand of righteousness, whether it's left hand or right hand. And righteousness will shatter kings on the day of wrath. So righteousness is going to deal with even rulers. Okay, here's another Black Mermaid. This one I like because you can see the water. I like this one. This one thinks is my favorite because the water in the background and then the Black Mermaid appears. Amazing. So in verse 6, righteousness is going to execute judgment among the nations. That's what the verse today is talking about. Righteousness exalts a nation. Right? Righteousness exalts a nation. So that's what will execute judgment among the nations. Here's another Black Mermaid painting. This one, she's going into the light. She's going into the light. And there are going to be corpses in the nations, filling the nations with corpses, shattering chiefs over the wide earth. Okay, so verse 7 is the ending verse. This is the final verse for the psalm. Righteousness will drink from the brook by the way. Therefore, righteousness will lift up righteousness's head. Like you're going to lift your head up. When you're walking, walk with your head lifted up. Because you are good. You are mercy. You are compassion. You are righteousness. This is the Black Mermaid. She is trying to get some food. This is how she extracts her food. So she goes deep in the ocean. She's in a wave in this one. She's in a wave. She's like trying to do a backflip somehow. And then this one, she's eating. She's eating her food. This is, her purple food at the bottom of the ocean. And you see the purple hair. So she's deep down into the water. But these are the Black Mermaid paintings. I have these as well. This one. And I have this one. So I'm going to make prints. So if you don't want to buy the original costs more. But I can make a print and you can get a print of the painting, in a card. Just let me know how you want it. I'm going to show these again. That is our psalm today. Selah and Selah again. As we end, I'm gonna I wanted to see what the word of the day is. So this is the Black Mermaid. She's underwater, but she's like in an underwater cave where she can sit. So let's see what the word of the day is. The word today is give. Give your donation. Oh my goodness. Blessed greetings, Elsu. Give your donation. Today the word is give. I give generously and know true abundance. When you give, you feel abundance that you have participated and in an exchange where children are being impacted. I work with children. So when you donate to my cause by buying an original painting or a print, you are going to be giving something that's going to last a lifetime for a child. They're going to remember the programs every summer that we do, and it's impacting their lives. I'm so excited about what this summer is going to happen because we're introducing financial literacy and talking about money and talking about business and creating generational wealth where you don't have to be in a situation where you cannot afford the basic needs in your life. So here's a Black Mermaid painting. This one doesn't have a price on it, but I'm starting these off on July 3rd. Today is July 3rd, and July 3rd is emancipation for the Virgin Islands, okay, 1848. So these paintings are, let's see, yes, 1848. So you can get this painting for $1,848 for 1848. Okay, $1,848. This painting is going for. We're trying to raise $6,000 to finish our budget for the summer workshop, and in doing so, we have to. I decided right now that 1848, July 3rd, is when emancipation of enslaved people in the Danish West Indies. Okay? On that date, 9,000 enslaved black residents on the island of St. Croix, led by Moses now, that's what they called him, General Badeau Gottlieb, revolted and demanded their freedom, demanded for them to be free. Bun the dumb, I don't deal with no dumb. We're not going to be dumb. We're not going to be free and then dumb and not using our free will to emancipate our mind. Okay? So, 1848. This is what this painting costs. $1,848. This one is going for. This one is going for $1,848. July 3rd, Emancipation Day. Get your Black Mermaid painting today. Go and to my website. Call me if you want to, send me a check for 1848. I'll send you whatever painting you tell me. I'm calling this one Purple Food. This is her food, the Black Mermaid. This one is Acrobat. Black Mermaid Acrobat. She's doing a back flip, okay, in the ocean. $1,848. Get it today, people. This is, look, Black people are owed more than $1,848. Black people are owed reparations. Like we worked free labor for the country of the United States. Other countries laughing like they ain't give Black folks reparations. What's happening? So $1,848 is for a Black Mermaid painting that you can put on your wall and know that an indigenous Black Caribbean woman painted this painting, who is from generations on this island of St. John. Come on now. This is more than $1,848. We got paintings out there for millions. $2 million they got paintings out there for that has nothing on it. This has something on it. This has a message. Okay? This one, Black Mermaid with the sword, $1,848. You hear the music getting ready to pump up? This one, $1,848. Black Mermaid goes into the sea. This one is my favorite. I love the background, the water, and then you see her coming. There she is. $1,848. Take off this price because it's not that price. We're celebrating July 3rd, 1848. $1,848. $1,848 for this painting. This is the Black Mermaid finds treasure. The Black Mermaid finds treasure. So just let me know which one you want. If you want the Black Mermaid finds treasure or you want the Black Mermaid rise. This is the Black Mermaid rise. You can have it. The original is $1,848, or you can get a print for $18.48. It depends. You can get the original for $1,848, or you can get a print of this for $18.48. So, two ways you can help. If you don't have $1,000, you don't have $1,800 to get the original, you can get a print for $18.48. Okay? But the original has my signature. It has it comes with an original certificate that this is me. I did that. So it's going to be worth more than $1,848 because the artist's paintings, if you know about art and selling art, you know, these are going to be worth a lot after I've gone bye-bye. Okay? So, get this now, $1,848. $1,848 for the original Black Mermaid. And you can get a print for $18.48. So this one, this one is the Black Mermaid Power. She's got an afro. And this is called the Black Mermaid Power. So you might want that one. Or you might want this one. That is the Black Mermaid. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. She's on a rock out there. And so that one. This one is the Black Mermaid at night. I think this is a Black Mermaid at night. I should have put a moon there or something, but it's, you can see that it's night. Black Mermaid at night. $1,848. This one, the Black Mermaid. The Black Mermaid Rise. This one is similar to the other, to this one. This one is the Black Mermaid Rise. This one is the Black Mermaid Rise. This one is the Black Mermaid Rise up, because she's got her arms up. And this one is the Black Mermaid Rise. She's just rising into the sun. Okay. And this one can go either way. Okay, this is an original, $1,848. Put this on your wall, or you can get a print for $18.48. This one is already kind of sold. Somebody wanted this, they liked it. I might give this to them as a gift. Okay, this is the Black Mermaid holding the, no, touching the sun. The Black Mermaid touching the sun as it's coming up. Beautiful. Look at the water. I love how I did that. Beautiful. Okay. So those are the paintings that have up for sale. I'm getting ready to go to the bay. So tune in for that. Let's outro. Tune in for that, everyone. Have a blessed day. Go to my website and let me know if you want one of these paintings today for 1848. Have a blessed day.